Close your eyes for 3 seconds and imagine this. No sirens yet. No mushroom clouds, no headlines screaming war. Just a single alert on a phone somewhere in the world. A notification that most people swipe away. That's how World War III wouldn't start with explosions, but with silence, confusion, and disbelief. Because if World War III began today, it wouldn't announce itself. It would creep in, quietly, digitally, strategically. Until one day, we all realize we're already inside it. Picture the world as it is right now. Hyperconnected, tense, exhausted, divided. Borders exist on maps, but real battle lines run through satellites, under oceans, inside data centers, and across financial markets. If World War III started today, it wouldn't begin on a battlefield. It would begin in a control room, a server farm, or a decision made in a few seconds by people who will never see the faces of those affected. The first spark would most likely appear where pressure has been building for years. Eastern Europe, where old Cold War ghosts never truly disappeared. A single miscalculation around Ukraine, NATO, and Russia, an intercepted missile misunderstood, a radar error, a defensive move seen as an attack. Within minutes, alliances activate. Not because leaders want war, but because treaties leave them no choice. Diplomacy collapses faster than people expect, and suddenly, what was regional becomes global. Or maybe the beginning wouldn't be in Europe at all. It could ignite in the Indo-Pacific, Taiwan, a small island with enormous significance. One naval incident in the Taiwan Strait. A jet flies too close. A ship changes course. A warning shot is fired. Markets crash before missiles do. The United States is pulled in. Japan follows. China responds. The world supply chains snap like dry twigs. Your phone, your car, your medicine, everything depends on this region. And suddenly, nothing moves. But here's the terrifying truth. World War III might begin without a single bullet fired. Imagine waking up to find power grids failing across multiple countries. Airports grounded. Banking systems frozen. Hospital networks offline. No bombs, no soldiers. Just chaos. A massive cyberattack launched simultaneously, targeting civilian infrastructure. No flag, no official claim. Plausible deniability. Governments hesitate to respond because they can't prove who did it. And in that hesitation, trust between nations erodes. Retaliation begins anyway. At the same time, space becomes a battlefield. Satellites go dark. GPS fails. Communication breaks. Militaries that rely on precision suddenly operate blind. A nation tests an anti-satellite weapon defensively, and debris spreads like shrapnel around Earth, destroying neutral satellites too. Now everyone is affected, and everyone is angry. Then comes the economic war. Sanctions more powerful than bombs. Currencies collapse. Oil and gas become weapons. Food exports are restricted. Wheat, rice, fuel, basic survival tools are controlled strategically. Countries don't just fight armies anymore. They pressure populations. Hunger becomes leverage. Inflation becomes a weapon. Protests erupt worldwide, not because people chose sides, but because they can't afford to live. And while governments argue, another war rages in your pocket. Social media floods with perfectly crafted lies. Deepfake videos of leaders declaring war. Fake leaks of secret plans. AI-generated speeches that look real, sound real, and feel real. Populations are manipulated into fear, rage, and nationalism. Friends turn against friends. Truth becomes the first real casualty. By the time fact-checkers respond, emotions have already won. If World War III starts today, it will be fought by drones before soldiers. Autonomous machines making life-and-death decisions in milliseconds. No hesitation, no mercy. A drone doesn't panic. It doesn't feel guilt. And when one side deploys AI weapons, the other has no choice but to follow. Escalation becomes automatic, not emotional. Nuclear weapons still exist, but they would be the shadow hanging over every decision, not the opening move. Leaders know that the first nuclear strike would be the last meaningful decision humanity ever makes. So instead, the world dances at the edge. Tactical nukes, limited strikes. Ow. Words designed to make the unthinkable sound manageable. Deterrence holds. Until it doesn't. And where would this war truly begin? Not in capitals. Not in trenches. Not even in the sky. It would begin in moments of arrogance and fear. In overconfidence. In the belief that the other side will back down. It would begin in systems too complex to fully control and weapons too fast for humans to stop once they re-unleashed. It would begin because the world is deeply connected, but not deeply united. The scariest part. Most people wouldn't realize it's World War III until history books name it that way. At first, it would be called a conflict, a crisis, a special operation, a defensive response. Life would continue, schools open, videos upload. Jokes go viral while the foundations of global stability quietly crack beneath us. And then one day, years later, someone will ask, when did it really start? And the honest answer will be, it started when we stopped believing cooperation was stronger than dominance. When technology advanced faster than wisdom. When fear became easier to sell than peace. But here's the ending most people never talk about. World War III doesn't have to start. Because the same technology that could destroy us can also expose lies, connect minds, and pressure leaders. The same global connection that spreads propaganda can spread awareness. History shows that wars begin when people feel powerless and they end when people refuse to be silent. If World War III were to start today, it wouldn't begin with fire in the sky. It would begin in choices, and that means it can also end there. So the real question isn't where World War III would begin. It's whether we recognize the warning signs in time to stop writing that chapter at all.